Conflict management and organization. Conflict management does not necessarily mean avoidance, termination, or reduction of the conflict. It is more about designing effective, macro-level stratagems that will help in minimizing the dysfunctions of conflicts and enhancing the constructive functions of the conflict to enhance organizational effectiveness. The inevitability of the conflict in different types of organization and industry was pointed out by the author. The above sections have highlighted the reasons that can be attributed as the sources of conflicts in the organization. It is important for the organization to have a positive perspective despite conflicts, accepting the reasons for conflict, and determining the reasons for the conflicts can help the companies to resolve the conflicts in a constructive manner. Conflict management has often been confused with conflict resolution. However, conflict management is quite distinct from conflict resolution. It is important to note that conflicts can be managed, but it does not necessarily mean they have been resolved. Conflict management does not necessarily indicate reduction, avoidance, or termination of the conflict. It actually involves the designing of effective micro and macro-level strategies to reduce the dysfunctional elements of the conflicts and enhance the constructive functions. Conflict management plays a very important role in reducing conflicts in the workplace. It is important for the project team's members to avoid conflicts in the first place, rather than attempting to resolve the same later on. Companies can often avoid conflicts by controlling the root cause of the conflicts. Effective conflict management helps the companies to strengthen the bond between employees and members of the project team, which ensures that half of the problems and sources of conflicts disappear. It helps in reducing stress and tension among the construction team members, as they feel motivated to complete the. According to the analysis, some types of conflicts are good for the organization, as it helps them to think out of the box and take their performance to another level. However, other forms of conflicts can be counterproductive and can result in reducing the morale and productivity and the completion of the construction project. When it comes to construction projects, as pointed out earlier, there are people from diverse backgrounds, and it often becomes difficult for managers to be able to manage the team. According to the article on the skills that are necessary for managing the conflicts it has been determined that well-managed conflicts bring enormous benefits for the company, as well as the people associated with the company. Conflict management has been considered as one of the biggest drivers of change in an organization. Conflicts, when handled in a proper manner, will allow the construction team to become innovative and help in creating strong bonds between all the parties involved in the project. According to the article, every manager typically spends about 24% of his/her time in conflict management. Though some might consider this to be waste of time, it should be considered as an opportunity to deal with the conflict in a constructive manner. This book has further pointed out the 6 essential skills that are necessary for managing conflicts in an effective manner. It is important for the construction team to consider each of the parties involved in the project in an equal manner. Sharing a common vision and goal allows the companies to avoid negative responses during construction. It is important for the team to focus on the outcomes of the project and take every step post-effective consultation, rather than taking a hostile and aggressive approach. Every stage in the construction project requires effective negotiation and dialogue between the team members. Conflict management strategies available for construction companies. Effective strategies are necessary for avoiding legal claims. The American Management Association has defined conflict management as the potential of the organization to determine the value of conflicts from driving innovation and change in an organization. Conflict management reflects the potential of the organization to determine when to confront the conflict, when to avoid it, and the potential of the organization to understand the issues and factors those are available to resolve the conflict. According to the work on conflict management by Dontigny, it was highlighted that conflict management strategies will help companies to avoid conflicts or minimize the impact of the same. Accommodating. This method involves giving the parties involved in the conflict what they are demanding. The accommodation strategy is highly effective. when one of the parties considers the conflict issue to be minor and is ready for peace. Most commonly, this method is used for the individual and people from the team. Accommodating has been considered as a temporary way to resolve conflicts, wherein the team focuses on the areas of agreement. This can be considered as a lose-lose conflict resolution technique, as neither parties involved in the conflict wins. Avoiding. The avoidance strategy intends to put off the conflict for indefinite periods of time. By doing so, the avoider hopes that the conflict will resolve itself over a period of time. This conflict management strategy is considered to be most appropriate when the conflict is quite small, but business relationships might be at stake. If the construction companies have more issues to deal with, they tend to avoid smaller conflicts. However, if the relationship between the parties involved in the conflict is critical for the organization, avoidance is a poor choice. Compromising is another strategy that requires both parties involved in the conflict to reach an acceptable agreement. This strategy is most prevalent when both parties involved have equal power. According to Heldman et al. 2011, compromise is the status that is achieved when each of the parties involved in the conflicts is giving up on something to reach a solution. These lead to a no-win conflict resolution as neither party gets what it wants. Collaborating is one of the conflict management strategies that requires both parties involved in the conflict to give up on certain elements from their side to each an acceptable position or solution. This conflict management strategy prevails in situations wherein the parties involved in the conflict hold equal power. Competing is another form of conflict management strategy wherein either of the party wants to be in a win or lose situations. In this strategy, highly assertive personalities tend to back out of the conflict. Competing is a strategy that is considered highly useful when the outcome is extremely vital, and there is a need for the company to take immediate decisions. It is considered to be an effective and efficient method when the company needs to take a stand. Organizations often choose the competing conflict management strategy when they know that they are right, time is limited, and a quick decision is necessary. Project management is the technique of making a plan, executing and facilitating it. Project managers are the owners of the project lifecycle. The project manager is the person who is responsible for managing the project with the requirement of accountability for achieving the project's objectives with the allocated resources. The project manager is the leader for directing the specific project towards success. The role of the project manager is vital for the success of a construction project. The effective project manager needs to possess 3 skills: relationship skills, technical skills, and conceptual skills. The technical skills of the project managers includes their ability to apply all the knowledge available in the field. The human relations skills of project managers involves their ability to communicate their vision efficiently and to maintain harmony in the working group. The ability of the project managers to motivate the construction team also falls within the human relationship skills. The conceptual skills of the managers allow them to perceive the project as a whole system and consider the global perspective. Project managers have to concentrate to get the work carried out by others, so managers need different skills to deal with various aspects and challenges involved in the construction projects. Impact of conflict on the organizational performance. Conflicts can be defined as strong disagreements between 2 or more people working in an organization. Disputes between people have a direct as well as significant effect on the business's performance. Conflicts at the workplace have a major impact on the profitability of the company. The main reason behind conflicts between employees occur due to undefined roles and responsibilities, unclear goals, etc. Few effects of conflicts are decrease in productivity, mental health concerns among employees, violence, increase in employee turnover rate, rise in stress levels, high rates of absenteeism, low morale of employees, etc. It has been analysed that disputes among members within an enterprise can lead to less than optimal performance, as these members do not interact much with each other, which minimizes collaboration among them. As a result, their performance ultimately decreases. The basic types of conflicts which can take place at the workplace are task-related disputes, procedural and interpersonal conflicts. On the other hand, there are a variety of conflicts which might affect the performance of an organization positively. Task conflict can be referred to as the disagreement of people over a particular task. They can be opportunities for business organization. While one employee raises issues related to a particular task, it directly develops opportunities for other workers as they can perform the same task. This provides benefits to both the company and employees, as employees get an opportunity to show their skill and the company gets its work done. Such conflicts generally develop competition among workers and motivate them to work in an effective manner. They can be beneficial or productive in terms of enhancing the quality of decisions. They also help in developing the critical thinking procedure, which can be helpful in terms of identifying the best way to improve business performance. Interpersonal conflicts arise due to disagreements related to specific topics. They have a negative effect on an individual as well as organizational performance. Such types of conflicts lead to negative behavior of people at the workplace and to high levels of dissatisfaction among employees, the effect of which can be seen on the performance of the company. Procedural conflicts arise due to the disagreements between people related to the implementation of specific procedures at the workplace. Such disputes have a positive impact on the business performance, as they can give rise to formulations of new business procedures that can be effective in enhancing the company's performance. If disputes are managed properly through application of the best course of action, an enterprise can increase its performance by using its precious resources for accomplishing the desired business objectives. Direct impact. Every organization is striving for success and growth. When they meet challenges, they need to overcome the same as a team. Challenges open up scope for conflicts between individuals, other organization, and parties involved in the project and the community as well. While conflict has always been considered as negative, it can have both positive and negative effects on the organization. Conflict within an organization can cause frustration among people. Project team members can become stressed, which will affect their personal and professional lives. When the company is spending too much time dealing with the conflicts, it takes away productive hours that could be targeted towards the completion of tasks. Conflicts causes people to focus less on the project and more on gossip and venting out of frustrations. Team members who are very frustrated may leave the organization. If conflicts escalate more than required, it could translate into violence among the members of the team. Conflicts bring out changes and new policies and procedures that companies have to formulate and implement. At times, companies might have to modify existing policies and procedures. There is an inverse relationship between project performance and interpersonal conflicts in an organization. A study was conducted to determine the impact of conflicts in an organization on the performance of the organization. Companies today are operating in a highly turbulent environment. Hence, it is important for the organization to focus on the factors that improve its performance and competitiveness. Conflicts can be considered healthy for an organization, so long as people are competing for resources, jobs, power, and security, among others. Often, conflicts among the team members affect the performance of the team members, but, at the same time, can help in improving the barriers that have developed due to misunderstanding. Conflicts can often be constructive if the management is able to enhance the level of awareness among employees. It can lead to improvement in the construction process. Growing conflicts among team members can reduce cohesion and the ability of the team to work together. Conflicts can also create distractions for team members. Often, avoidance is considered to be more comfortable in a conflict situation. Henry cited the work of John and Belbin and indicated that engaging in conflicts and avoiding the same can lead professional stress. Considering the construction industry, managing a construction project without any conflict between the project participants and avoiding any misunderstanding is an impossible task. The construction industry is well known for having higher levels of interpersonal and inter-organizational conflicts. When the parties involved in the project communicate and interact, there is potential for conflicts. Conflicts are often pertinent to the progress of the construction project, as they affect the project and lead to crisis. Construction projects require individual and different organization to work together and form a team, which is a temporary organization. Extending on this view, Olalakan, 2013, has argued that having people from different cultures and backgrounds working on a team on a complex project to achieve the desired outcomes is the main source of avoiding any conflicts in construction projects. Conflicts in a construction project can lead to lower trust and respect, which affects the overall performance of the construction project team and company. Lack of effective management of conflicts can lead to development of a negative work environment, wherein the individuals are reluctant to continue and participate in the construction tasks. However, it is important to note that despite conflicts being considered as having a negative impact on the project, the impact of the same will depend on the nature and level of the conflict. Conflicts always remain a challenge in the construction industry as they have the potential to lead to failure, abandonment of the project, and litigation. A successful project is one where the project is completed with the stipulated time, within the approved budget, and follows all quality norms. There are three major factors for a successful project. Construction has evolved dramatically, transitioning from traditional methods reliant on local materials and informal craftsmanship to modern practices that prioritize efficiency and sustainability. In the past, buildings often suffered from quality control issues and environmental harm due to their reliance on less durable materials and lengthy timelines hindered by weather. Today, prefabricated components and off-site production not only enhance quality, but also reduce waste and energy consumption. As project managers navigate the complexities of cost and sustainability, the industry stands at a crossroads, with innovative techniques promising to revolutionize building practices while sparking ongoing debates about the best path forward. Listeners, today I will talk about the construction projects and production methods. Building and construction has undergone a lot of transformation over time. Early buildings were constructed using less durable materials. Modern construction uses prefabricated materials that are produced off-site. There are concerns over quality control in the production of materials used in the construction. Traditional designs and methods on construction failed to address issues over the impact of construction on the environment. Construction has been suffering from production inefficiencies for a long time in traditionally produced buildings. With the application of production theory, some of these concerns could be addressed. However, the actual potential of the production theory in resolving issues has to be explored in depth. Modern-day building production methods involve a plethora of technological equipment and also demand project completion within deadlines adhering to quality standards. As compared to traditional construction methods used for building projects, there are some modifications and new methods that are being used in the construction of modern buildings, and the same would be explored here. Traditional construction methods have been considered the most effective in past years. Managing projects under traditional method was very simple, since most activities were done at the same place. Although many contractors, designers and clients are opting for modern construction methods, it is evident that less change has taken place in terms of the effectiveness. Currently, there is a debate about the best construction method to be undertaken. More attention is drawn to the impact of construction methods on the environment and waste management. To withstand the current competition and rising cost of construction, designers and clients are striving to come up with more unique structures. This paper compares the traditional and modern methods of construction and tries to establish how the modern construction projects are unique. Traditional production method. Over the past years, there have been changes in the technology and economic needs in the society. These changes have greatly affected the construction methods, designs, and developments in the construction industry. The continued change in the economic, social, and technological needs and requirements has led to the emergence of new construction materials and buildings. The traditional production method was one where locally produced materials were used in the construction. This was part of the informal sector of the building industry, where non-professional builders were involved in the work. It was primarily characterized by the wide use of locally available materials and adaptation to the local environmental conditions. The production methods were designed to utilize locally available materials. The aim was to produce products that would give adequate standards of performance. Mass production method was the most commonly applied technique since there was no need to come up with unique products. Traditional methods had no quality control system set up. As a result, constructions were carried out without any formal methods of quality control. Production management, in this case, was affected by bureaucratic systems or less developed management policies. These activities were majorly carried out in situ. It was after the end of the Second World War that the need to consider the methods that would provide suitable materials and labor in the construction of new buildings arose. There have been changes in architecture and design that involved modifications to the layout of structures and increasing spans for both roofs and floors. Most factories produce the required materials using the mass production method and become the major suppliers of the materials to the customers. Over the past few years, production managers have been struggling to choose production methods to be employed in the companies. In fact, integration of the production methods available, technological change, and the production models to address the need of uniqueness in construction has been a major challenge to production managers. Several production methods and models try to address how uniqueness can be achieved in construction. These theories revolve around the traditional project management and product methods and the modern production methods. In traditional methods used for construction of buildings, full concrete was produced at the construction site, and the same was then left for 28 days for hardening. Only after it was hardened were floors primed and then leveled. This process also required a number of prerequisites that had to be completed, including lift shafts, waste pipes construction, and pipe conduits for electricity. A huge number of equipment were required at the site for priming and compounding, which had to be transported from far places. Thus, construction could be hugely affected by weather conditions that may not allow transport or cause hurdles in site construction. Raising of walls used to take around 45 days to finish, and only after that did the remaining construction follow. These methods had several risks and disadvantages, such as damaging of mold if concrete didn't dry up, material release caused by poor C-value of leveling compound, trapping of moisture inside concrete after priming, long drying times, extra site work, high logistics, and material costs. Advantages of traditional method communication channel. The structure of communication channel is outlining in a way that both formal and informal communications flows effectively without any hindrance. In traditional method of production, their workers and managers have their levels of responsibilities. Cost control. The traditional method ensures that the projects are completed within the allocated budget. This is made possible through a wide labor base. This ensures that the allocated time limit is met. Traditional construction methods help in solving the problem of cost minimization. In addition, the attempt to provide unique products in a competitive sector proves to be difficult. However, in the case of batch and mass production, cost minimization can be achieved, enjoying economies of scale. Efficient method. One of the advantages of the traditional method is its efficiency in the production of the desired products. This helps in satisfaction of the client's needs and production of the unique buildings and structure. Traditional methods, therefore, help in achieving the construction companies to attain goals and objectives. This, in turn, leads strengthening of the bond between the professionals, designers, and clients. Limitations of traditional method. The traditional method also has various limitations, which affects its application in the modern construction sector. Lack of commitment and poor coordination has led to underperformance. This makes clients have less trust in the structures built by the contractors, leading to unmet client satisfaction. There is a serious struggle to execute all the outlined activities within the given timeline in the traditional methods of construction. This has been evident by top managers paying much attention to the activities that matter to them. In addition, conflicts occur between top managers due to lack of customer focus in their decision-making process. As the construction was fully happening on the site, the work was often affected by severity of weather conditions. Traditional methods took too much time to complete construction. The energy consumption in traditional buildings was huge because of the production methods and types of materials used. The traditional buildings were not constructed with much consideration about their environmental impact and energy usage. Modern production methods. In the life of a construction project manager, effective delegation is paramount. Assigning tasks to skilled workers allows for smooth navigation through the project's phases, ensuring that each aspect receives the attention it deserves. Regular reassessment of project status is crucial, especially when unexpected challenges like resource shortages or bad weather arise, prompting managers to prioritize and reassign tasks efficiently. Strong problem-solving skills enable quick adaptations, while fostering teamwork cultivates trust and collaboration, essential for success. A project manager's leadership inspires motivation and influences team attitudes, driving the project forward. Possessing knowledge of design, diplomacy, and negotiation skills is vital in this complex environment, where ambiguity can lead to misunderstandings among stakeholders. This uncertainty complicates cost estimates and business cases, often resulting in disputes that challenge relationships and project outcomes. Construction projects. Characteristics. Construction projects are characterized by high levels of complexity, uncertainty, and uniqueness ventures. Complexity is created by the fragmentation of the organizational mechanism by which the construction projects are generally delivered. As observed by Annan 2012, a typical construction project is composed of assemblage of organizations. Usually, individuals or groups from several parent organizations, having varying and contrasting objectives and motives, come together to work as a temporary team to attain the project's objectives. The successful completion of a project is very much dependent on the coordinated effort of this diverse and complex arrangement of project contributors. However, it has been observed that due to natural influence, project contributors face massive hurdles in developing a team for a typical construction project, as the market is very competitive. Due to the presence of differentiation, sentience, and groupthink in construction projects, various team contributors often see each other as rivals instead of allies, hence affecting the project's performance. Moreover, the complexity of projects is enhanced by the complexity involved in technology related to modern construction and project logistics. Construction projects usually start in an atmosphere of vagueness, as the client, who is mainly responsible for the creation of the project, and is himself not fully sure of the goals and target of the proposed project. It has been observed that ambiguity regarding project objectives rises with the addition of construction supply chain to the project board. Generally, it has been noted, especially at the initial stage of the project, that specialized project contributors, such as designers, focus on their own interpretation of the client's vague brief and perceive solutions as per their own understanding, rather than fully understanding the client's needs and then developing practical and optimum solutions to address them. As concluded, projects start usually with very little information and, hence, with a lot of unknowns and uncertainty. The ever-present element of risk and uncertainty means that events and tasks leading to completion can never be predicted with absolute accuracy. This feature of uncertainty raises serious doubts towards the successful completion of the project and places great strain on the key performance indicators of time, cost, and quality. Due to the presence of vagueness and uncertainty in various stages of the project lifecycle, it is a challenge to come up with a realistic cost estimate upfront and build a reliable business case for the sponsors. Mostly, that leads to the unpleasant situation of dealing with less than assured shareholders and the expansive business of claims. I have given citation details in the description box. Please follow, like, and subscribe for more details.